Hello and welcome to our live and virtual Teacher Education Roundup. My name is Ben Burnett and I'm the Dean of Education at William Carey University. Like all of our faculty here at William Carey, I am a retired school teacher in the K-12 system and school administrator in K-12. We normally have this Teacher Education Roundup where we let you explore all the different options of becoming a certified teacher in person, but due to the obvious circumstances of this year, we're going to try something new and let you hear from teachers in our program as well as current and former students. So thank you for joining us. This will be a great event. I have with us this evening some of our department chairs and coordinators of our most popular programs and the ones that you'll probably have the most questions. And I'll let them wave as I introduce them because they're in remote places as we do this virtual roundup. We have from our Tradition campus, which is located in Biloxi, Mississippi, Dr. Lori Wyndham. And Dr. Wyndham is over the undergraduate program, including our teacher assistant program on the campus. I also have with us Dr. Candace Acott, who's located here in the Hattiesburg campus. And Dr. Acott serves as the coordinator for the alternate route program. And she is the one that answers all of those questions and gets people in those classes and teaches in that program. In addition, we have Dr. Katie Tenori. And Dr. Tenori is the Director of Teacher Education for the undergraduate program here at the university. And she is located in Hattiesburg, but serves both campuses in her role. And she is the contact for assistant teachers for the Hattiesburg campus. And last with us, we have Dr. Teresa Poole, who is our Associate Dean of Education. And Dr. Poole, in addition to that role, also supervises the graduate programs in teacher education. So we'll start with Dr. Poole giving a brief overview of our master's programs, which are 100% online. So if you already have a teaching license and you're interested in going further and pursuing a AA certification and a master's degree in one of the teaching fields, I'll let Dr. Poole briefly explain what those are.
Yes, we have the Masters of Education degrees in elementary education as well as secondary education. We have the mild and moderate, we have gifted education, and we have endorsements that you can add on to your degree. It is 100% online, and you can get that degree in less than a minimum of 12 months. And so we'll be happy to talk to you more about those programs and send you information about those.
Now we'll go to Dr. Wyndham and let her talk about the uniqueness of the Tradition campus because the coastal area is very spread out and the Tradition campus operates a little differently, but it's very flexible to meet the needs of everybody. Dr. Wyndham?
Good evening. One of the things that we talk about on the Tradition campus is the fact that we're called Tradition campus, but we service primarily non-traditional students on our campus. More and more students have jobs, families, not just teacher assistants, but in other fields. And so our classes are uniquely offered where we don't have day classes at all. We start any classes at 3:30 and then 5:55. We have moved to a lot more online classes. We have hybrid classes that meet face-to-face 2 to 5 times a trimester. And we're also offering teacher assistants the option of attending the face-to-face classes virtually so that you still get the interaction for classes like literacy classes, but you also don't have to travel very far to get to campus. We are getting more and more students who are coming straight from high school now. We'll have 2 students this fall that are coming straight from Teacher Academy. And we have been in the teacher academies on the coast and encouraging those students to come to us either from the junior college or they can have the option of coming straight into and doing all 4 years there.
Great, thank you, Dr. Wyndham. We won't get into all the specifics of the licensure changes with Dr. Acott right now because we'll focus on that later and we're going to take your questions live and also answer questions that have been submitted. But I'll ask Dr. Acott to give a quick overview of the alternate route to certification program.
Okay, alternate route is for individuals who have an undergraduate degree in a non-teaching field who decide or desire to become teachers. Our entrance requirements have changed due to COVID-19. Very basically, because the Educational Testing Service discontinued testing, the Mississippi Department of Education responded to that by temporarily suspending test requirements. So that means you no longer have to have a Praxis Core or a Praxis 2 score to get into the MAT or Master of Education in the Art of Teaching program, which is the alternate route program. You do still have to have a 2.75 on your undergrad work, and there are 2 initial courses that are required prior to your being able to apply for a 3-year license, get a job, and complete your internship. And like Dr. Burnett said, I'll be happy to answer questions further. There are a lot more details involved.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Aycock. And lastly, we'll ask Dr. Tenori to give an overview of the undergraduate program on the campus of Hattiesburg. But also, if you're watching this statewide, our teacher assistant program has the ability to also offer our undergraduate program through virtual means.
Welcome. We're glad to see you all, and just want you to know that we have the most caring and knowledgeable professors you will find. We have been using WebEx to virtually conference with our students for over a year, so we feel like we're pretty practiced with it. It's very important that our students that meet virtually feel like they are part of William Carey, feel like they are part of a cohort. And probably the best news you have heard up until this point is that the MDE has waived until December of 2021 the entrance and exit exams. So we are in the process of taking any transcripts, looking at those at the core 44 hours to determine if you have a 2.75 GPA. If you do, we will reach out to you to begin paperwork and apply to William Carey. We also have 2 other, Dr. Wyndham referred to the Teacher Academy program. If you were part of a Teacher Academy program from any high school, we do offer a $20,000 scholarship. So you can contact us about that. And our premier program that is really growing very fast, and one of the quickest ways we can get teachers in a classroom is our teacher assistant program. So we offer a 50% tuition waiver. Students that have applied and had been admitted to teacher ed can apply for the waiver for their last 2 years of teacher ed, and call us for more information about that. We would love to have you.
All right. Well, that's the core of our leadership team in these key areas, but we have many other faculty members here on the campus who are eager to help you. And what sets us apart from other universities is that our teaching faculty here at William Carey University all spent a career in K-12 education first, and we average over 25 years of experience per faculty member in K-12. So we have the experience to know how to help you become the teacher you want to become. So now we're going to pause from this part, and we're going to take some questions live and in person, and look forward to interacting with you. Well, thanks again for joining us. We're trying something real different this year, and answering questions and talking to people about the greatest profession on earth, and that's becoming a teacher. But all of you who are aspiring to be teachers, and all of you who are in the education profession, know that you got to do things differently right now to survive this very difficult time. I'm a former school administrator. I was a high school band director, then a middle school principal and school superintendent, and I am blown away and so impressed with what all of our schools across not just Mississippi but across the nation are doing to just survive right now, to teach students online in K-12, feeding them. I mean, I just see heroes every day going out on school buses, delivering food to children, and now struggling with how do you have a graduation without having a graduation. So everybody's doing something different, so we've got to do things differently too. And I think we're doing a better job of reaching you with social media and in the comfort of your own home rather than having you here for a teacher ed roundup. Normally a teacher ed roundup here at William Carey would have about 100 interested potential teachers, and that's a lot. But we had, as of just a few minutes ago, 650 who had checked in that they were interested or going to tonight's event. So if you're live with us right now, we thank you. We ask you to send in your questions. We've got a long list of questions already, and we're not going to take 2 to 3 hours with this, but I can tell you, if we don't answer your question from the ones that are submitted or have been submitted previously, we will, through our Facebook, submit answers to all of those questions, and somebody is going to get back with you. It may take a day or two, but we're going to get back with you. You've already met earlier Dr. Candace Aycock, and she is the most popular person in the School of Education right now because she's over our alternate route program. And if you've applied for our alternate route program and you're hanging every day wanting to know, when am I going to know if I've been accepted? It's been a couple of days since I've applied. Well, just in the last week, within 1 week's time, we've had around 300 to 350 applications for the alternate route program. That is tremendous, and we're excited, but we're just trying to keep up with the volume. So be patient with us, and we're going to get back to you just as quick as we can. So we're going to take some questions live. You've already heard an intro of all of our different programs, and I'm going to answer some of the questions that have already been submitted about our different programs. You met the main players of our different areas from the teacher assistant program on both campuses, the alternate route program with Dr. Aycock. If you're currently a teacher and you want to go to graduate programs, you met Dr. Poole. And so you've already met the people who can answer your questions more specifically, and you can email them. You can also call our direct number at 601-318-6600, and you'll hear a pre-recording, but then it's going to ask you what program you're interested in, and it will take you to somebody, and we have all those phones forwarded. So somebody will eventually get to that call. So let's take some of these questions, and we are so happy that you've logged on. We're already up to 180 people watching right now on Facebook, and we also are on YouTube, so that doesn't count our YouTube followers. And the highest number we've ever had in person was around 80 to 100, so obviously this method is much better. So just take some of these questions, and this may spark some questions that you submit, and our team will be ready to answer your questions in the next couple of days. The first one asks, does William Carey offer a graduate certificate program pathway for the 5-year renewable license for those who do not want to get a master's? All right, so the alternate route to certification is kind of wrapped up in both of those questions. The alternate route to certification does lead to a 5-year standard license. The first step is to get admitted, take the 2 classes, and then once you do your internship, you can get a 3-year license, and during that internship, which is a regular teaching job, so your internship is not an unpaid position, your internship is your first year of teaching. You draw a normal teaching salary. So within that first year, you do your internship, and then you get a 5-year renewable license at the end of that. Now, the beauty of the alternate route program is it is 12 hours, 2 classes before you go into your first year. The internship is 6 hours. So you can continue and get a master's degree in the alternate route, Master's in the Art of Teaching, MAT, but you don't have to continue. If you choose to continue, then the rest of the program is 100% online, but most of our candidates do continue because it's almost halfway to a master's degree that you're already into. Dr. Aycock, do you have anything to add to that specific question? Okay.
Did a great job.
And then the next question kind of goes into that, is the MAT program 100% online? Are there scholarships available? Actual scholarships for graduate programs are few and far between, but even though we're a private institution, you can apply for federal financial aid in the form of student loans, so the financial aid is available. You would need to go through our financial aid office, and that is listed, contact information is listed on the website, and through the admission process, they would take you through that. Ordinarily, the 2 classes for the alternate route are face-to-face classes, or actually hybrid. They will meet some face-to-face and then some online. But with the COVID-19 situation, William Carey University is 100% online in all of our programs this summer. So if you're listening to me and you're planning on doing the alternate route program this summer, both of the 2 classes that you take will be 100% online. Now, they're not going to just be submitting classwork and you getting feedback. The courses will meet virtually, and so you'll be talking to a qualified, certified professor who will be guiding you through these 2 classes, and you'll be able to interact just like you were there, but you will not have to come to campus. So that's a very good question. Somebody asked, I took my classes for the alternate route around 5 years ago before changing my mind. Would they still count, or would I have to retake them? Yes, within the last 6 years they would still count, but we can also revalidate courses older than that possibly, so you can email us and ask us about that. And a lot of people out there listening may have taken the 2 classes but lacked admission criteria, because to be fully admitted, you have to have had the Praxis Core or an ACT of 21 and passed Praxis 2 in your specialty area. Now that those 2 areas have been waived, if you took the 2 classes with us as a non-degree student, you can go back and reapply for admission. And that's one step that a lot of people don't understand about the alternate route process. They may have taken the 2 classes as non-degree and they want to apply for licensure. Well, the first step is you've got to be fully admitted. So you've got to go back and apply for admission if you've not done that step, and a lot of people are getting hung up on that.
May I interject something?
Please.
Okay, if you are interested in applying for alternate route, the first thing you need to do is scan and email copies of all of your transcripts to me or to Dr. Miller in the School of Education, so that we can verify that you have the required GPA to get in the program. This will save you some time by, we'll look at your GPA and we will, I'm sorry. We will look at your GPA and email you and let you know if you have the necessary GPA to get in the program. And we just need you to do that first before you go to graduate admissions.
All right. I'm going to cut to a couple of live questions that were just submitted in the last couple of minutes that are hugely important. One says, what if I've taken one class and I just need test and measurements? Then yes, we're offering both classes this summer. One of them is classroom management, the other one is test and measurement. You can take both of those, or if you only lack one, obviously you can take just one. Another great question from Demetria says, with a large influx of students, will you have capacity for everybody? Well, the beauty of this program is that we have plenty of education professors here to teach our 2 classes. We have a host of adjunct teachers, and since it's just 2 courses, everybody who meets admission requirements will be able to take the 2 classes. We had some information that was given out either wrongly or just assumed by a lot of people saying, I hear that your classes are full for this summer, and they're absolutely not. We're going to admit and register everybody who meets the admission requirements and criteria to get in. So great question, Demetria. I appreciate you sending that in. Somebody said that I've sent my transcripts last fall and ACT scores. However, I didn't have time to complete things due to work. Well, I need to submit those again. You'll need to go back in and reapply. Your testing materials and everything should be in there, and your transcript should still be there, but you'll need to go back in and reapply and reactivate your application with graduate admissions. So we've talked a lot about the alternate route. That is not the only pathway. It's the only pathway for a person right now to get your teaching license if you have a 4-year degree. But somebody says, I have my associate's degree, and what's the next step? Well, we have a couple of great paths for you. If you finished your associate's degree, and you can finish your last 2 years with us here, either face-to-face, or we have a virtual option on either campus as a part of our teacher assistant program. Now, the great thing about our teacher assistant program, is that it comes with a 50% tuition discount. And I need to clarify, this is for an undergraduate program, so this does not cover the alternate route. So if you're an assistant teacher and you have your bachelor's degree already, the assistant teacher scholarship is not a part of that program. So if you're an assistant teacher out there in our K-12 schools and you've already completed your first 2 years of college, then you can complete your last 2 years with us, keep your assistant teaching job, but then your tuition is reduced by 50%. So we have 2 contacts for that. You met them already. Dr. Wyndham is at our Biloxi campus, the Tradition campus, and Dr. Wyndham on that campus has a blend of the program where she meets some of those classes face-to-face, and she meets some of them 100% online, just whatever the population dictates in that area. Dr. Tenoria is a director of teacher education and is over the assistant teacher program in the Hattiesburg area, and that is a virtual program that she does on WebEx. So that was a great question that was submitted by somebody. Somebody asks, I have my associate degree in physical education. I also have my bachelor's degree in coaching and sports administration. I'm an assistant teacher, and now I want to know, is the MAT program my best option? It absolutely. If you have your bachelor's degree, your best option is the alternate route program. You may go back and finish. We've had several people who would go back and get a degree in something else and come back and finish the undergraduate program in teacher ed, and you can certainly do that. But the quickest path to get into a classroom for next year, and your only path to get in that quickly, is to go into the alternate route. Somebody asked, if Praxis 2 and Foundations test aren't available by the end of the summer, how will that affect those of us who want the degree seeking going past the first 2 classes? Thanks, Brittany, for that question. Now, I want to be clear that after you finish, or after you get admitted to the alternate route program and you do your internship, there's not going to be any double back and having to retake the Foundations of Reading test for elementary or the Praxis 2 or even Praxis Core. So if you get admitted under the current guideline suspension and you complete the program, and we've confirmed this with the Department of Education in the last week and a half or 2 weeks, you're not going to have to go back once the Praxis tests are given again or the Foundations of Reading is given again. So you're not going to have to go back and retake those tests. I just got an email from a student who graduated from us several years ago and had been working to pass the Foundations of Reading test and had been licensed with a special non-renewable license, but all she lacked was a Foundations of Reading test. And now that it has been suspended, we could recommend her for her licensure. So after about a 3 or 4 year period, this candidate just sent me an email right before we went live at 5 o'clock today and said that she now has her license. So a lot of people are out there maybe just lacking one test, and you can go back. Now, if those are out there who've completed an educational leadership program and say, all I lack is the SLLA, which is the School Leadership Licensure Test, if you have your degree from us and all you lack is the licensure test, then we can recommend you for licensure as well. All right, Dr. Aycock, what can you think about and interject?
Okay, if you register for the classes, the 2 initial courses this summer, you have to complete those courses before you can apply for a license. So I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that they will have their teaching license by the time school starts. Our summer term ends early August, and then you'll be able to apply for your license. However, principals all over the state know that that's the case, and they hire alternate route teachers all the time without their license in their hand, just knowing that they're in the 2 courses and they'll be able to apply for that at the end of the summer. So I don't want you to think that you will have your license in your hand and be able to go and apply for jobs, but you should be able to hopefully get a job. The other thing is that with these new guidelines from MDE, since there are no Praxis 2 exams being given, that's typically how you demonstrate knowledge of your content area. So what they have implemented in lieu of a test score is that you have to have a bachelor's degree in the area that you want to teach. or you can have a bachelor's degree in any other area, but you have to have at least 18 hours in the subject area that you want to teach. Or you have to have, at some point prior to the suspension of test scores, you have to have passed a Praxis 2. So, you know, what you'll need to do is look at your transcript, and we have a list of acceptable endorsement areas where you can get a license to teach. And if you'll email me, I'll send that to you. But you'll need to look at your transcript and see if you have at least 18 hours in the area that you would like to teach.
All right, I'm going to go back to the comments, and we're now 210 people viewing and around 80 questions, which is great. How will we know if we're being admitted to the program or if we're lacking something to get in? As soon as you apply for admission, an email is generated back to you, and you'll be able to check to see on something called My Status to see if you're lacking anything. The admissions office, although they're overrun with applications right now, they're doing a good job of getting back to people. But then you can also call and email us. Great question here from Tori. Is the ACT minimum score waived for the teaching assistant program since the Praxis exam now being waived? The ACT minimum of 21 or the Praxis core exam, Tori, are waived for entry into the alternate route program and entry into the undergraduate program, which will be the teacher assistant program. And not only that, those of you that are in the undergraduate program and those of you who are interested in grades 4 through 6 in the alternate route, the Foundations of Reading is now waived, and that is huge because the Foundations of Reading generally hangs more people up in getting licensed than some other tests. Now, we keep talking about it being waived. The deadline is December of 2021. So January 1st, 2022, we don't know what's going to happen, but they've already passed saying that they will be waived that long. But I'm going to refer to my earlier comment. That doesn't mean that they'll go back and say if you got in under this guideline waiver that you'd have to go back and retake those tests, because you will absolutely will not. Great question for the students pursuing licensure in special education. And let me just address special education in elementary 4 through 6 and the alternate route. Your two paths to get licensed in alternate route is to either have 18 hours in a content area or having passed Praxis 2 already. So if you haven't passed Praxis 2 already, the Praxis 2 test is not currently being given. So having 18 hours in special education is very rare, as is having 18 hours in elementary education. So if you're interested in those two areas and you don't have 18 hours, we would recommend that you take the two courses as non-degree, and those Praxis exams, we hope, will be given in the very near future. Certainly by the end of the summer, but we can't guarantee when and how those tests will be administered. But you do need to be very cautious about saying, well, I'm going to go into alternate route in elementary 4 through 6. My undergraduate degree is in marketing. A marketing degree is fine for the alternate route, but you're not going to have 18 hours in elementary education with a marketing degree. So you might have 18 hours in English, or you might have it in history, or you may have it in some other area, but probably not elementary education, unless you were an education major to begin with. Anything on that, Dr. Aycock?
No, except I will say this. I heard from an instructor who heard from her students that you are able to actually register for Praxis exams through ETS at this point. They're taking registration. I'm not 100% sure about that, but you might want to check.
So it's the best of both worlds. If you need the Praxis 2 because you don't have 18 hours, they're not saying they won't take the Praxis 2. It is just being waived as a requirement. So if you have the 18 hours, then you don't have to have it. But if you don't have 18 hours and you've already passed Praxis 2, or you can sign up and take Praxis 2, then that would be your pathway too. The only requirement for fall is the 2.75 GPA. That can be calculated by your overall GPA, which is easy to see at the end of your transcript for your undergraduate course, or you can go back, we can go back and we calculate the GPA either in your content area that you're going to be certified in or in your core classes. And we've even had one candidate who has been certified or been admitted. Their undergraduate GPA wasn't 2.75, but they already had a master's degree and met it that way. That's rare, but that is a possibility of happening. So can you teach both elementary and secondary through the alternate route program? Again, secondary is the biggest category for alternate route. Elementary is only 4 through 6. Somebody the other day emailed and said, I think I have a job in kindergarten next year, but I need to complete the alternate route. Well, they can't hire you for anything below 4th grade for the alternate route in teaching elementary. So you need to go through the undergraduate program. The exceptions with that would be K-12 programs, like our physical education alternate route is K-12. Special education is K-12.
Music, art, anything that's not an academic area.
But teaching a regular classroom of first grade children, that is not an alternate route possibility. But if you're in special education and you're an inclusion teacher for first grade, then absolutely you can go alternate route for that way. So those we have also mentioned. Hey, and I want to give a shout out and welcome. I see that Dr. Burson from the Department of Education is watching. Dr. Burson is a great supporter of ours, so of our teacher prep programs. She may be mad that I'm calling her out on our live broadcast, but we do appreciate her support. And the MDE has been inundated with trying to just help school districts survive this and then the licensure problems, but they have been greatly supportive of us. We really appreciate that very much. So another thing I want to bring about, that if you're a teacher or if you know anybody that's in a teacher academy program, a teacher academy is an 11th and 12th grade generally program in high school CTE programs. We have a $20,000 scholarship for anybody who's completed teacher academy. So if you are watching now and then you say, well, I did teacher academy, I'm thinking about going back and going to the undergraduate program. Well, we've doubled our teacher academy scholarship. It used to be $10,000 and now it's $20,000. And I want to just give a shout out to all of our community colleges. The bulk of our undergraduate students here at William Carey, especially in the School of Education, but probably throughout the university, come through our great community college system. So we talk with community college counselors all the time. Matter of fact, we had a statewide WebEx conference with all the community college counselors last week to go over our guidelines and the licensure changes. So we welcome you. This will be a great transition because although our university has over 5,000 students, it feels still like a small environment, and we will take care of you and we will certainly know you by name. Still have a ton of questions here, but we're going to start bringing it to a close. You will be able to go back and watch this. We're going to post answers to questions. There's also a form coming your way, I believe, that you can post other questions to. So this is just the start of the conversation. It is certainly not the end, but not about licensure guidelines. I want to just give you an overview of William Carey University very quickly, because we're different for a lot of reasons. We're a Christian university. We're a private university, although we follow all MDE guidelines, all licensure guidelines, but we are specific to our Christian roots and heritage. We are the oldest higher ed institution in South Mississippi. We started in 1892. The School of Education has 1,300 students, and released recently by our president was data showing that we had 521 graduates, actually for 2 years in a row, over 500 graduates. And that was the largest number of education graduates at the combined graduate and undergraduate level in the state. Our faculty have all spent time in K-12. We average 27 years of experience in K-12 for our faculty. So when you're talking to a professor, you're taking a class, an undergraduate or graduate class from somebody here, it's going to be somebody who's done this for a career and not just studied about it, because we are a career-long K-12 teachers, principals, building leaders who want to help you through the next phase of your career. Dr. Akon, can you close in comments or thoughts?
Just for information about the alternate route program, if you would email me. It's C-A-C-O-C, A-Y-C-O-C-K, @wmcarey.edu. If you haven't sent us your transcripts yet, please do that first. And we will respond to you, and we welcome you in our program.
We want to take this time to thank all of you for giving us 30 minutes of your time, but we also want to thank you for your interest in the teaching profession. I gave you one example earlier about connecting with a former student and her success, and how glad I am about that. That's a daily experience once you get in the education field. It's a ministry, it's a blessing, and right now it's one of the few things that we can guarantee you a job in the job market in the state of Mississippi with a teacher shortage. So we pray God's blessings on you. You've now given us a lot of work to go back and answer all your questions, and we're going to get busy doing that. So thanks for tuning in. God bless you. Good luck to you in this next phase of your life, and I hope that you and your family are safe during this tough time.